Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Colin Ulrich.
I'm Mangru, lo.
And folks, we promised you some more Red Storm 44 mods, and we will deliver on that today. Today, actually, on Orsha North, who do we have, Ryan? Actually, I think we have somebody new, don't we?
Well, on the left-hand side, in the blue, we have Atreides playing the brand new 20th Waffen SS Grenadier Division. And on the right-hand side, in the red, we have a Disheartened Eugen fan playing as Group Tyurina.
So you said new. So talk to me about new. I know it's the Estonians over here, which is... I didn't look into the pedigree of the unit, but tell me more about what we see from them in this mod.
Yeah, 20th SS was just added just last week. Pretty interesting SS division. Well, interesting in the way that they do have Estonians. In terms of equipment, it's pretty much a German, Grenadier division. There's really not that much special of them. Just Dugs and Pag 40s. Some pretty good infantry. I think their main standout, of course, is the copious amount of air power they have, as they have a lot of Focke-Wulfs, which are very good in this mod.
Yep, I am certainly prepared to get fucked in this particular replay, but how's that going to match up against Group Tyurina? I mean, we know what the Tyurina does at vanilla, but...
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Lots of T-34-6s, which would be pretty good against a division that doesn't have a whole lot of tank. But the main thing is they have some pretty nasty infantry as well. The Russian Sturmovikis are just bloody deadly in this mod. So it should be a pretty infantry-focused fight, as both sides have... not comparable, but it should be pretty interesting to see how they match up.
I'm certainly fascinated, I know. Interestingly enough, a lot of the SS keyword on this is definitely going to go and cause some issues here, because if memory serves, that means it's a very, very minimal... Yes, the 35% stress resilience, that thing right there is just obscene.
Yeah, and a lot of the units do have it because it's an SS unit. But as we're seeing down south, Atreides managed to maneuver a Panzerbeute and snipe on a BA-64, which is quite nice. Anti-tank rifles are a really good call-in on this mod. And Disheartened has to use a lot of these BA-64s. He's got one kind of in the northern town here doing a bit of a aggressive reconnaissance.
No, I was watching up to the north as the Stug 3 is trying to engage the Zis 3, and not for nothing. Yeah, there was only really one way that was going to end up. It ended up exactly as I expected.
Yeah, it didn't really have any reconnaissance on that Zis 3, so there's not much you can really do. Just like in this mod, things are very stealthy. You really need reconnaissance to spot most things, so you can't just be throwing tanks willy-nilly into unfamiliar terrain.
No, unless you're Tyurina, at which point terrain means absolutely very little.
Mm-hmm.
But Panzerbeute over here down south, trying to engage both at basically T-70 Komrati and the Razvedka. This is not going to go well for him. Even with a 3-star, it really shouldn't go too well.
Yeah, the Panzerbeute is not the best anti-tank rifle. I mean, you really have to hit the side armor of those T-70s to really do anything, but he does have a pretty nice hold in that forest with 3 SS Pioneer squads in there, so he should be able to deal with the Automachikis. His armor, however, the T-70s is going to be a pain. He has no other anti-tank on his southern hill.
You know, he should be able to deal with the Automachikis, but I think it's only because of dint of numbers. He shouldn't, SS Pioneers, again, fantastic stress resilience, that kind of die hard kind of, sticking in, it could be really, really great, but don't forget, veteran Automachikis in the first place. I know it doesn't sound like much, but again, I'm pulling it up on my screen right now. 10 accuracy, 15% rate of fire, 15% stress resilience. That is a nasty piece of work, and that's on top of the fact that they're Automachikis.
Yeah, Russian SMGs are also very good in CQC. Here's how it goes in terms of CQC. The Russians have lots of submachine guns, where the Germans really rely more on flamethrowers and explosive charges to really form morale, because apart from the explosive charges, the SS Pioneers are pretty bad at CQC.
That is certainly the case. Watching over here as one of the other kind of replacement Stugs is trying to move a little bit further south and assert himself along the center line of this fight. And I can't help but agree with it. I feel like this is probably a better place for him and a much more appropriate place for him to be sitting.
Yeah, I always like seeing people who try to push in the center of this map, because it is hard to push, to be fair, because it's a lot pretty open, and the enemy hill does give him a good position to shoot you down from, but it's usually rather weakly defended, so if you do manage to make a facilitated push into the center, you can actually get a decent amount of ground.
Certainly seems to be the case. I keep checking down there to see if there's going to be that rush that we're expecting in the southern forest. But it looks like it's more on the part of Atreides over here to kind of continue to be pestering some of these northernmost Soviet units. The T-60 Razvedka, not really with the same kind of benefits of the armor from the T-70, of course, and incendiary already, so I always... the incendiary crit for me, it's always just kind of, like, minimal.
Yeah, I think it just, like, stuns him for a little bit. But yeah, Panzer Boys are in a very nice spot. I mean, main thing is being able to... Most, I'd say, shoot the stuff while being hidden, but it's now been spotted. And he is having a rather nasty time. It's holy crap, our T-60 shoots really fast.
It shoots really fast, yes, but the damage to optics, which would have been a reduction over there, both to line of sight as well as, I think, is actually given accuracy coming through.
Yeah.
But in the end, not enough to save him.
Not enough indeed, but yeah, I feel like Sergeant's meant to make good use of his light tanks here. I mean, a nice thing with his deck is that his tanks are going to be a little bit better for fire support, especially just having light tanks out and about. One problem with the 20th SS is that you really only have Stugs as your only armored unit, and even just having light armor can be extremely useful, especially in these hill fights where it's rather close quarters. Just having a cheap tank to be bulletproof and shoot some machine guns will prove to be more than useful. I feel like down south we're going to be seeing an assault here soon.
Oh, yes.
Disheartened. He has a BM8.
And that's exactly what I was hoping you were calling out right there, but I'm not sure it's even going to be necessary. I think by the time it gets there, most of these SS Grenadiers are going to have been shifted. The Sturmoviki Dozers in the first place, terrifying, even without the flamethrower.
Yeah.
And the AAA gun, yeah, the T-60, the T-70. We're seeing these SS Pioneers being brought around in a bit of a flanking maneuver, which I think is good, but I just don't think it's going to be enough.
No, he still can't really deal with the armor, which is going to be the pain in the ass. I mean, they don't have anti-tank grenades, so it's not like he can blow up his armor. Like, it's really just his light armor, and now his Gas Maxim is going to come in and really be a pain in the butt. The other Gas Maxim is probably just going to get Panzer Boys.
It probably will, but the T-70 is, I think, the first target kind of priority there, so it's not going to shoot for that.
That's a shame. He definitely could have killed that unarmored car, and here comes the rocket artillery.
Well, you know what they say, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Indeed there is, but
I didn't realize that the targeting profile for that is just so tight. Unfortunately, it's so tight it didn't hit anything.
Yeah, I think at close range it is pretty accurate, but yeah, it's kind of a shame that he didn't actually get any, major kills here. The SS Pioneers now exposing themselves, but when you're getting shot at by full Maxim machine guns, I don't feel like you're going to be really able to do much.
No, it seems highly doubtful. We're actually seeing the same kind of push up to the north as well, and almost the same kind of profile, as we have AAA kind of being brought in to really just use against the infantry positions. What I am seeing that's just kind of strange is we only have one squad of bronies up top. We don't really see any kind of Soviet infantry there to support that push. Yeah,
it's really just like a Maxim to defend the point. And yeah, it's more of a defensive position up north, it seems. Also, just a quick note about the Gas Maxim AA. These are the runs being brought in the support tab, so they can only shoot at ground targets. They have no anti-aircraft capability.
Yeah, but I think when push comes to shove, I'd rather have the Maxim in the support, because I'd rather have that ground movement here. And actually, we're going to see that really come back to bite them, because if Focke-Wulf's coming in, he's going after all of those vehicles in the north. And the 50 kg, more than enough. It kills a T-70 instead. I'll take that.
Yeah, those Focke-Wulfs are so good. Even though it's a light bomb load, it's still enough to blow up tanks, because this is Red Storm. Bombs blow up tanks. And those Focke-Wulfs are extremely survivable, not just because of resilience, but their speed allows them to get in and out, even if there's a decent amount of anti-air. They're definitely going to be a pretty big force multiplier, I believe, for 20th. And you got a second one being brought in this time with two big bloody rockets. Is he going to go after the T-34? I feel like that will be the smart target.
Yep. The question is if he hits, and I know how ridiculous that sounds, and that's the problem, is that the rockets are a little bit less exact. I mean, they should be more exact, but they feel a little bit less exact overall.
Yeah. He missed with that salvo, and you really need to direct hit.
Forgive me, though, we actually have a kind of like a strike squad over here of SS Grenadiers moving behind the front lines. It's 15-9, And yes, we're getting some bronies in. Yes, we're getting a T60 coming too. Excuse me, T70 in. But there's also this BM8 that might be able to get picked off.
Holy crap, your central, like, look in the center, you have like 4 Stugs moving up here. Like, this is a crazy push here from Atreides, exactly what he needs to do, really hitting the weak underbelly of Disheartened, and
the problem
this is really going to throw a wrench into the flanks.
The problem is that there's a 45 mil that's just not going to be engaged for a while because it's too deep in the forest. So unless the Stug over here is going to get, he's not going to get out of line of sight, he's going to go down pretty quickly, I imagine.
The 45 mil is out of AP ammo, because the 45 mil have very limited AP ammo in this mod. It's mainly just, they're really just using more as a high explosive support gun. Which sounds bad, but honestly they're pretty good support guns.
Oh my god, I forgot how ridiculous Brony Boishkis are, Arbashikis are. Jeez. Yeah, this entire center is completely ruptured. How the heck did this happen?
I know, and this is by like a slow and steady infantry division. This isn't any like crazy mechanized post, it's really just Stugs.
I guess you could say his opponent's a little bit stuck in the mud.
Yes, Khan. Yes, he is. But yeah, this is fantastic. I mean, you're seeing Disheartened having to counterattack now, a bunch of tanks being brought in, but he doesn't really have much reconnaissance to spot these SS Grenadiers in the forest, which will definitely prove to be a pain in terms of routing them out.
Well, right now the 45 mil, yeah, he's got the HE to engage the infantry, but the infantry's going to bedevil him quite a bit. Hopefully the Stug is going to have the correct targeting decision. Your tank commander kill, that's not going to be good for him right there. We might see a dead Stug pretty quickly. He was killed, now he's knocked out. Is he killed or is he knocked out? Like,
that's a weird bug, because yeah, you shouldn't be able to get the knockout if your tank commander's already dead. Maybe he was resuscitated really quickly and then he like fell asleep.
Well, let's also not forget that this is still Red Storm, where all the infantry has anti-tank grenades. I mean, sort of.
Mostly.
Sort of. But I mean, they have the frag.
Pretty good.
Well, like right now, that T-3476 continues to move forward. There's still an SS Grenadier that has the potential to force a pretty quick surrender. Also worth mentioning, though, up top, we have this entire Russian kind of attack group that's going through, which theoretically should be getting a lot more territory than it is. Unfortunately,
it's a leader unit.
Yes, and that's the thing that I was going to make the comment about, is that they have this Pioneer Fuhrer over here that's keeping things kind of at bay. Of course, if the Air Grenadiers go down, that's going to be a different story.
Yeah. And he also has like quite a bit of reconnaissance units which don't affect the front line, so that's definitely hurts him out a bit. And that's the thing of Red Storm, is that you really have to be like pretty thorough in clearing forest, because it's very easy for a, you know, pioneer, you know, an infantry unit here and there to just not get spotted. I can definitely vouch for that in playing just a certain Red Storm match where it's like, oh, I moved up, but I don't have the front line. There must be partisans in my rear.
Well, in the meantime, we are going to see that two planes go. Sorry,
Whoa.
One plane goes in and takes out 2 vehicles. We all in the center, Stug, the Befehler Stug gets hit a little bit for right now, but who cares? It's still 16-8, and here's... We need some rocket attacks or some gun runs? No gun runs, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if Atreides can get some more units into that northern hill, he should be able to very easily consolidate it. He does have 2 Pak-38s, and he's definitely on... I don't know if they were in defensive position before, or if he just brought them up, but they definitely have a little bit of a route to go to get into a good position in the center, so it's going to be a bit of a shame. But he still has the Stugs, he has a very good hold in the center with just some of these Earth Grenadier holding the point here, so he's not doing bad. I mean, this is 16-8.
I was actually thought you were talking about the basically the 28 mil Panzerbusche 41 up top with the APCR shells.
Oh yeah, that's a funny little unit, yeah.
It is, you know, and one of the squads is crewed by John Doe.
I think that's a naming bug. I think all the Estonians are called John Doe because there's no Estonian names added yet. I believe that's
gosh, that's funny.
Something you have to add.
Wow, stolen valor. But by who, really, is the question.
I know. Oh, we got a Heinz go down south. I believe I don't know if he killed something or not, but it doesn't matter for him because he is going to die.
He certainly is going to die. I'm actually going to check up here to the top, though. Again, we have another Focke-Wulf coming in, and he might kill his own troops with this, but he will almost certainly take out the T-70. There you go.
Yeah.
The wing ripped off.
Whoa.
Jeez.
I think that's pretty detrimental to your flying ability.
Is he a monoplane, or he's wearing his scars with pride? The BM-8 over here in the center is going to try to go and find that Befehle Strug, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that. Again, he's going about the same distance from the front lines, and he's very precise about what he's hitting. Again, I am intensely impressed by the lack of spread on these. I imagine he would want just a smidge more than what he's got, though.
Yeah. Their rocket artillery it can definitely be very powerful, but of course you really have to be, it's more accurate, so you have to be a little bit more, concerned. But anyway, the SS Grenadier, managing to hold you at point still, pretty damn impressive, and of course the infantry unit being brought in just got sniped by the Zug.
Yeah, I was going to say that helps quite a bit there. Of course, the Combrati, if the Combrati goes down, then that point is completely in the control of House Atreides.
Yeah. Those SS Grenadiers are actually pretty decent, because they do have 2 PPSHs, which definitely improves their firepower quite a bit compared to regular German Grenadiers.
True. Absolutely true.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the stress resilient. Oh yeah, and if you look up north, the SS Grenadiers with the Panzerfaust actually has the Czech submachine gun, ZK-383, which is also a very cool SMG. So some pretty cool, just like, flavorful weapons here for the Estonian.
Well, with the SS Grenadiers, for some reason I was having such a weird... Wait, where's the Czech machine gun? I'm not seeing it.
SS Grenadier Panzerfaust on the northern runs moving up on the hill.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I was looking under the light machine gun. I was like, that's an MG-34, my friend. I was like, it's been a while since I've seen one live, but pretty sure. Down south, I'm actually surprised that Tyurina over here has not made a more concerted effort to either punch through or to maybe try to pinch off this piercing that they've got going on here.
Yeah, I feel like he's been much more focused in the center, just due to that rupture in his lines, that he hasn't been able to really muster the forces to continue his southern assault, which is pretty good for him, because if he does get a little bit more armor, he can just deal with all the Grenadiers. There's really not much crazy anti-tank apart from Panzerfaust here and there. But, having to try and recapture the center is really screwing him over and pushing his flank.
Sure, that does seem to be the case. I'm watching as the northern side of the Soviets gets kind of picked off. Yes, there's one veteran of Machiki up here. And yes, he's going to take his pound of flesh, but it's really just about 2 models. Ooh, and this other fucker wolf. Okay. Flow carburetor failure. Good plan. Let's get out of there.
Yeah.
And now we actually do have an 85 mil in the center part of the field, so that might cause some hassles for that Strug Befehle. But already, Disheartened Eugen fan, he's kind of in a pickle here.
Yeah, he just lost so much territory in the center without really having to, fight for it. It's a few units. Now, if he wants to counterattack the center, he has to go through quite a bit. You have 2 SS PAK-38s in that one forest. The northern hill is getting reinforced by some more infantry. It's going to be quite a bit of a fight if he wants to retake his land, and that's going to be a huge pain in the arse, while also having to defend his flanks. And as we see up north, Atreides bringing in Flampanzer Pioneers, also with explosives. He has the Sturmovikis in the forest, which are also very good against the Flampanzers, but it's just way too much Estonians up north.
That's true. That's true, which means the Disheartened Eugen fan has got to fight for his right to have a communist party.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Down south, just checking back in over here, all's quiet on the southern front, although it looks like the property values are steadily continuing to fall. Inside that forest, now we have the MG08s. Oh my gosh. So the ridiculous POSs that's going on there. But 16-8...
No wonder they're disheartened. They're using a bloody World War I machine gun.
Yeah, and you want to go and make fun of it completely, but they don't have to hold the ground forever. They just have to hold it. They just have to hold it longer than the other guy.
Yeah, and honestly, having disheartened machine gun teams is not that bad, because they're usually going to be shooting infantry out of range, so they're a little bit more survivable. And not like you're assaulting with them; you're playing them much more defensively.
Interestingly, these Focke-Wulfs up north have been absolutely stellar. 37 mil can't get after both. He's going to go after the southern one with the rockets, which I think is probably not what they was really hoping for.
Yeah. But both are going to get the load off, and I think the rocket was just a blind fire to see if there's anything in the area, but of course there wasn't. But still,
absolutely.
it's only like 3 Soviet units here, so it should be pretty easy to take out, even though he doesn't really have any armor. There's just at 1 T-60, and he's pretty much tracked.
Well, and honestly, too, the Flam Pioneers have been more than enough.
Yeah. Get an easy surrender.
That's one. Maxim's going to engage the Flam Pants moving out over the open field. He doesn't even see the Brony. Oof.
Yeah, it's sneaky Brony.
Oh, my little Bernie. Poor guy. I'm not sure he's going to last very long. Maxim's not going to last very long either, jeez. Looking over here in the center, shockingly enough, we haven't seen a whole lot of Soviet air power, which is really weird. Befehler Stug does go down, but big deal. I mean, again, he held that middle territory for a long period of time, and it's 16-8.
Yeah, it's been like a pretty constant 16-8. Atreides has done a very good job of, securing that central push. Like, I was actually quite surprised he hasn't got kicked off that hill yet, but I think just being able to push up north as well has, really diverted and disheartened Eugene's fans' attention all over the map that he can't be able to concentrate in one area for too long.
That's true. I do think Atreides got by with a little help from his Fremen, though, so...
Yeah, and just this northern push of all the Estonian infantries, well, it's going pretty well, but the Sturm Superiors coming in clutch here.
Oh, absolutely.
And actually doing a pretty damn good job. Oh, the Flam Pioneers coming in for the flank. Now they also have machine guns, so they should be in a pretty good position to deal with the Sturm Superiors.
So, some friendly fire there. He does take out a fair chunk of the Pioneers, and that kind of bizarrely enough, there's been very, very little anti-air. There's been like there was one SDKFZ in the middle part of the field. We actually see a couple other ones coming to the northern side right now, but other than that, next to no anti-air. Part of me wants that Pak-38 assert himself. There we go.
I think it just hasn't been that much air power from the Soviets until now, so he hasn't really seen a need to, but there's only like 25 seconds left, and I think it's pretty clear that Atreides will be taking the victory.
But I guess here's the question. It was because that Tyurina is weak against the Estonians? Or is it it was... Okay. Mm-hmm.
No, I think it was because he just did that lovely push in the center. Like, it really caught Disheartened Eugen off guard, and even with a pretty slow division such as the Estonians, he managed to put pressure on all flanks to keep Disheartened Eugen fans from really concentrating in one area. And also just the aircraft plays have been really on point. He exploited his Focke-Wulfs perfectly.
I agree.
Yeah. Looking
at the KD, rather meager levels of death here, all things considered. Zis-3 getting a couple of good Stug kills. Yak-9 picking up a one. We got a ground kill at the same time. Yeah, I mean, we have some small moments of brilliance over here from the Soviet side. Bergman did very well. The Focke-Wulf got 2 kills. Another Focke-Wulf got 2 kills. Okay, so the Henschel got 1. Razvedka down to the south before he went down.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing really crazy. Everyone was kind of, working together. They were, it's pretty good at Atreides still man's win with a negative KD ratio, but hey, it's not about the kills, it's about gaining territory.
That's true. If you pay for that pound of flesh, what are you getting for it?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just a really lovely match here. Like, 2 very cool infantry divisions going at it. I do love casting these Red Storm games. It's so much tactical, like, variety and just interesting interactions, especially in the infantry fights. It really makes it, like, really cool. Like, I love casting action Khan.
Absolutely, and it's great just to see more and more development for this thing too. We gush constantly about seeing the things in the vanilla game, but I love this mod because it gives that moment into the sun to the rather overlooked people. So.
Yeah, and Mr. Chris has done a very good job of, these were added pretty recently as well as the 11th SS division, a little bit different from the vanilla run, but, all the divisions that have been added, yes, there's less in the vanilla game, but the divisions are frankly just much more interesting and much better built compared to vanilla C2 division.
True. But I suppose for right now, congratulations to Atreides. I guess Eugene fan gets a little more disheartened, but he's not surrendered yet, so he's still got one step up in the ersatz Schuppen for that. Any final thoughts, sir?
Nope.
Well, folks, we got some more Restaurant 44 material coming your way over here on Thursday, so be sure to check it on out. Until then, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.